Samanan, guys. As the, as one thing I'm realizing more and more every single day is that women can't empathize with men. Like abagwas. Like they go out of their way to say that they can, that they are they have a higher EQ, as well, but they really can't. Like it's almost like when men speak, women's ears switch off. And they're like, oh, okay, wait, let's start with definition. Sorry. Because I'm trying to think, is it empathy or sympathy? Sympathy is when you feel for someone. Empathy is when you have had an experience and you truly understand you in their shoes. So it's empathy. Sympathy would be like me understanding period pain. I can't. I can only sympathize, but I can empathize with the pain. Okay, women still can't empathize with men because women know the feeling of being misunderstood. Women know the feeling of not being heard. Women know the feeling of someone looking over them. Yet they do the exact same thing for us. Like we live in such a crazy time. We live in such a crazy time in the sense of this generation of men, we are paying for the sins of our fathers. And we see it in so many spaces where women are still thinking, we get into spaces because we men, or we get a job because we men. That doesn't exist. Guys, like I promise you, for any business that is BE, they want to hire more females, especially under the age of 35, because you guys are more beneficial for the business's bottom line. So again, if you look at university stats, I'm just talking about our generation, and the generation below me. University stats, more females are graduating. Properties, more women are buying properties. Cars, salary, you name it. Don't go about that 1%, that older white male statistics that gets thrown around in all these spaces and think that there's a discrepancy. There isn't. There isn't a discrepancy. There are more unemployed black men in South Africa than there are unemployed black women. So it's so crazy because we've been socialized in such a way, would say the man must provide, the man must do this, the man must so now you've got both sisters and brothers think that they must do that in 2025, even though it's almost unrealistic for you as the man to be the sole provider in the relationship, especially in a space where the average black female, again, our generation and below, out earns the average black man. It's so crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And when you speak about this and speak about that, it's like, you know what, person, just date a girl in your lane. What? What are you talking about? Our sisters aren't dating men in their lanes. Yo, but sisters are hypergamous. I get that, but in 2025, the same hypergamous female is she also speaking about equality. So on the one side, you want us to be equal. On the other side, you want to pick and choose when you want to be equal. Take it easy with that. Take it easy with that. I'm seeing so many guys struggling in relationships. And like they'll say something to me that makes so much sense as a guy. They'll say something to their sister that makes so much sense. And then the second they speak to their girl, it's almost like the girl doesn't hear them. It's almost like the second they are unpacking their pain, it's almost like usisbeto just like hearing wang 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 abezwa, or maybe abafunu. I don't know, because gents can speak to their family members, their female family members, their sisters, their aunts, their mothers. All of a sudden, those people that have unconditional love can hear you. They can understand that. I was with family this past weekend, and I'm busy watching these two little kids, little boy and little girl. And I'm watching how the little girl is just bullying the little boy. Like, taking this, taking that. And the boy is just taking it. He's just quiet. And I'm looking at how frustrated, obviously, the female parents of the boy are. The grand, the what. I'm seeing the frustration, and I'm like, you guys do know that in greater society, if we see a little girl as a society dominating a little boy, you have all these feminists that are saying, you go girl, you go girl. And they will be pumping into that girl by the mere fact that she's a girl, she's a victim. And they'll be pumping into that boy, but the mere fact that he's a boy, he's a perpetrator, he's a this, he's a that, he's a that, he's patriarchy, he's part of the toxic, wah. And that's how these little kids will be raised. So little boys are raised to be gentlemen. And little girls that are being raised to be independent, strong, powerful queens. So the boy is raised to cater and accommodate for the girl, and the girl is raised to cater and accommodate for herself. How crazy is that? And those people try to get themselves in a relationship, and then again, if a little boy, again, our generation is raised to hear a woman, to see a woman, to understand a woman, but the opposite is not true. The opposite is not true. So when they're in a relationship, it's literally one-sided. That's why you see so many of these toxic relationships where you see the woman who has now taken the role of our toxic fathers, of our toxic grandfathers. And now you're seeing a whole lot of simp beta men trying to come into a space. And again, I'm not saying it in a being soft-spoken. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it in a sense of, Wuti, you guys don't hear each other. She tells you everything to do and you jump. She tells you that's how we're going to go about it and you jump. And it's not a synergy. It's not a let's sit down and understand, because she's not willing to understand you. She can't hear you. I don't know if you guys have been following the whole thing of, is it Ayesha Curry? Steph Curry, the NBA star's wife. And her being on that podcast saying that she never wanted children. She never wanted to get married and what. And she feels like Steph Curry doesn't understand her. And this is not the first time she goes publicly and talks shit about her family, you know. And I'm saying shit in quotations because we also know with a lot of things get taken out of context. But it's not the first time, you know, because I remember when she spoke about how she hates the fact that she's now just become Steph Curry's wife and she doesn't have an identity and it's all about Steph, it's all about Steph. And we read it and we're like, yes, if we saw Serena Williams with some guy, we wouldn't care about the guy at all. At all. If we saw, Oprah's husband, who's Stegman, we don't care about him. Like, we don't care. We care about Oprah. You just Oprah's husband. That's what you are. You know? So, like, I'm looking at this Ayesha Curry and I'm like, sister, is this the result of being in a good, loving marriage? Now you're going to come up and say, I don't want kids. I get that many people say they don't want kids until they have kids and then the kids change them. Sure. But the way in which she said it, it's almost like, what, you chasing toxicity? What, you want to go out into the streets for 6 months? Live your best life? Because you want to find an identity? Your identity is part of this family. The same way that whatever he's doing, he's plowing back into the family. You're not hearing that Steph Curry is sleeping with this one, he's got 10 baby mamas, he's doing this, he's doing that. You're not hearing that. He just happens to be very skilled at the job he does. Now we'll find a purpose, find a job, and be very skilled at that. And maybe, just maybe, we'll care about what you do outside of being this person's wife. But now, so for now, it must be about you. Yes. I'm like, you're so selfish in the sense that not only do you not do his job, but you want the spotlight that comes with his job, because you definitely have gotten the beautiful homes, the vacations, the cars, the that. You've gotten so much of the positive of his job. Now you want the limelight of his job, and on top of that, busy telling us that he doesn't understand you. Like what? Like what? But it speaks to so many men that I speak to. Again, our generation. I want to be very, very clear. Our generation. Let's just say 45 and below. You know. 20 to 45, that's the age bracket. Maybe 45 might be pushing it, maybe 20 might be too young, but let's say 25 to 40. But like, you speak to a lot of guys who are in relationships, and a lot of their fights around, she just doesn't hear me. She just doesn't understand me. It's almost like she's speaking Spanish, I'm speaking Mandarin, and we just like this. Because I'll say, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Or if she'll say, show emotion, show vulnerability, and when I do, it almost feels like she has that ick, you know, that ick. You know, you guys were telling us our whole teenage lives, our whole 20s, Uguti, men need to show emotion, We show you emotion and you don't know how to deal with it. We show you vulnerability and then you guys step on it. Like, really? How do we want us to move forward as a society when we can't be vulnerable? After you guys are happily vulnerable and we there, okay, it's okay, baby. Still, it's all right. You'll get that next job or you'll get that opportunity. It's okay, baby. Tina, we come through. You get fired. It's okay. We will love you. We will support you as best as we can. The roles reverse. All of a sudden, it's a countdown to the bottom. Ndanga has 3 months to step up or else. We are dying alone, guys. I've done all these stats. I've done the depression. I've done the anxiety. I've done the suicide. And you can clearly see that men are struggling. And when we go onto spaces, when we go onto podcasts, when we go onto social media and we tell you guys we're struggling, you know, you guys, in terms of actionables, do less than anything. You know, you might get 1 or 2 that might write a nice little message, and then a whole bunch of females will be like, oh, she's a pick me. So who must hear us? Besides my mom and my sister, who must hear us? Because it's Funuchola Nan, as far as Chola knows this bit. Funuchola Nan. The same people that we try to break our backs to ensure that we hear and understand you guys, because we know that there's femicide, we know Gucci, there's GBV, we know that there's this, and the majority of good men out there, they're really trying their best. Far from perfect, but trying their best. But in terms of our pains, sisters, do you understand your boyfriend's pains emotionally so? Do you understand what keeps him up at night? And once you understand that, what are you doing to try and assist him? What are you doing to ensure that he becomes a better man? Besides just giving him balm. Because you can get balm from Sibungile, you can get balm from Nomfundo. What is it that you are doing? Actionables to pour into. What are you doing to better understand his plight, to better understand his frustration, to better understand his fears, his insecurities, his vulnerability, and then to try and assist him to the other side? Yes, I know you're not a psychologist. I get that. Yes, Nomfundi's work as well. But with that being said, he's doing that. When you open up and you saying, Muti, this is the situation with this is the situation with this, is the situation with his mom. The good guys out there, they're trying. Aye, guys, no. Inzima lent, and it again lends itself to our current power dynamics. We saw it with our fathers, we saw it with our mothers, where our mothers had a very little voice, our fathers had the biggest voice, and it's happening with our generation. It swung too extreme on the other side. It swung way too extreme on the other side, to a point where so many men, so many good men are silent again, all over again in the homes. Because again, if they speak, it becomes a fight. If they open up and become vulnerable, then all of a sudden you become dismissive. All of a sudden you're like, oh, snap, he's breaking down. What do I do? Guys, I don't have a solution. I don't, because those suspects, they feel constantly attacked when I say these things, instead of trying to have a sit down and break it down, and find solutions. Because it's still a Nina to empathize with us. Still a Nina, so that you guys can hear us and our plights and our pain. We need you guys more than ever. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Share this video far and wide. I think it will spark great conversations. Like, subscribe, notification bell, all those amazing things. But more than anything, guys, have yourselves a fantastic day. Gansanda, I'm out.